We're learning Ullilevi Omar today. Those of the area of Boston, Tzatzal, Reschanan, Tovshin Nun Hey. On the night of Shabbos Kodesh, the Rebbe Zt said, Aseret HaDivros, we always read after the 3 weeks. And the week that begins the 7 weeks of consolation. The consolation of Klal Yisrael, the people of Israel, is Nachman Achme Ami. HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls us Ami, his nation. That comes through Torah. And therefore we read in this week the Aseret HaDvorim. I repeat often the name of Kalmanovich Zatzal was Rosh Yeshiva Samir, came to America. He worked on the efforts to save Jews from the Holocaust. He saved hundreds or even thousands of Talmidim during the war. The Torah we find, Haki Shamalacho, be careful, Ushmor Nafshecha, and watch your soul as well. Pentishkach, lest you forget. You should tell your children and your grandchildren the day that you stood before Hashem at Sinai. So the question, why is it mentioned in the Torah 5 times? Lishker, you shouldn't forget. Hishomer, all the different languages. And the answer is that the nature of a person is that he doesn't want to recognize miracles. When he sees a miracle, even though at that moment he cannot deny it, as time passes, he says, it wasn't really a miracle. He says it happened for a different reason. The person doesn't want to believe that an S happened to him. For example, somebody's driving a car, last moment, he brakes, he swerves, he saves himself from destruction, even though to begin with he says, I couldn't have done it without Hashem. But after a few minutes, he starts thinking, I must be a good driver. I knew what to do. Then he thinks, maybe I was saved. It's a good car. Slowly but slowly, he forgets, after a few moments, the Hoydel Hashem Kitoiv, because the person doesn't want to recognize miracles, only for the moment. And then afterwards he gives the explanations for why it happened in a natural form. Now, Kalmanovich Zatzal said, with regard to the Holocaust, as one of the first ones who went into the Holocaust camps after they were freed, and after the Americans came in and the British came in and the Russians came in to save them, everyone agreed that they remained alive only through a miracle. But after a while, they started to find reasons why they remained. They said, maybe it's because I grabbed a piece of bread when somebody wasn't looking. Here in Parshas V'Eschanan, even though it mentions Matan Torah, where all of Klal Yisrael saw it, not just one person. The Torah has to remind us 5 times. We shouldn't forget the Ness. Specifically because it was beyond the natural order. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows the nature of a person, forgets, he denies, and therefore Torah had to tell us many, many times, watch, remember, do not forget. Even in our days, when we see miracles happening, certainly in Eretz Yisrael every day, Baruch Hashem, we have the merit to live in Eretz Yisrael, but everyone has to know and recognize, to remember, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this nisim. We couldn't live here without it wasn't the Ratzon Hashem. We have to recognize the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. Klal Yisrael recognize the Kedusha of Yisrael. All of the nations will also recognize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is God, and that Schus V'Emunah B'Hashem will merit the Gula Shlema Meher of Yameinu. Amen.